It into more coca. I chop it with the razor while I eat a glazed donut. Cuzzo telling me I'm wildin' and I'm staying sober. The fiends knocking on my door, they never staying sober. I told them give me half an hour, gotta bag it all up. I got the money and the power, never giving a fuck. You cross me, the paramedics gon' be picking you up. I call the shots, I guarantee my niggas getting you touched. Turn you to ashes and dust to dust. Smoking on the best grasses when I'm rolling the Dutch. Russian cream backwood, a raw paper with some finer leaf. I'm a trapper, but I'm putting rappers underneath. Gun clapper, use a movie actor, such a wannabe. I'll deal with them later, yeah, the paper, it be calling me. See, they slept on me, so I'm regulate, I'm boring, G. Gonna win, never switch up. 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 Gonna win it. I took a loss, I'm okay with that. See, I'm a boss, I put the work out and I made it back. If you talking about a profit, that's the only time my brain react. My homies plotting on you, better watch it or your chain gets snatched. They taking shots while I'm aiming back. Yeah, as long as I'm alive, fuck a 9 to 5. Serving and delivering your order like the pizza guy. Free the guys, cause I got indicted, you the reason why. 3 to 5 years you was facing, why you need to lie. Paperwork from the written statement that you did provide. Real niggas moving silence, bury me a G, mama. I ain't with the violence, but I'm always ready for the drama. If you switch, pull up with the stick. Death before dishonor, flow sick like COVID-19. In the foreign whip, all black Benz or the white beam. I was born to win and I ain't never switch up on my team. Nigga. Born to win, never switch up. 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 Born to win, born to win it.
GG, I am DJ Jones of all, Millionaire Chris Ryder. We all did it around to a podcast, your source to knowledge. We got a special guest, Millionaire.
You already know, man. We got music hip hop producer OMZ Eternal in the house, man. That song you just heard was Hiroshima, produced by him, man. That shit was fire. Welcome to Dinner at the Rock podcast, man. Live from New York, baby. How you doing there, man?
Hey, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. I'm doing well, man. Thank you. How's everybody doing? How you guys doing?
And we're here maintaining, brother. Maintaining.
Good. That's the key, man, to maintain.
Practicing, social distancing. You know what I'm saying? But we're here, though, man. We alive. We well. You know what I'm saying? But again, though, man, it's a great honor to have you back. I mean, you was actually in the studio last time, but we didn't actually get an actual interview with you. But, you know what I mean? It's the second time, meeting. But then, you know what I'm saying? That beat right there, bro. I mean, wow. That definitely took me to, like, that New York vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like, it definitely took me to that New York mentality, man, that beat. It's crazy.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I mean, I've been a fan of golden era hip-hop, since I was a kid. My older brothers put me on to like Nas, Jay, Goody Mob, Outkast, Boot Camp Click.
Oh wow, you said Boot Camp Click. Oh man,
yeah.
Oh man,
Royal Flush, Jay Dilla. So that's all in me, man. It all manifests through my music, and I try to merge it with the newer style trap stuff and just create my own thing. But the golden era, that's where my roots are all day.
That's dope, brother.
I'm just glad I can be in New York, coming from VA to be in the mecca of hip hop. This is where hip hop started, and I just want to live it and be part of it as much as I can through the culture, through the music.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
And that's where like the.
Go ahead, Chris.
No, that's where the greatness comes in. That you're able to blend the new school and old school together. Makes to me a really nice blended sound together. So
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, gotta you know, find balance between both. Because me personally, like I think I lean more towards the old school, the '90s, but I definitely like some of the new cats too. Like I don't want to say new, but newer, like Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, Big Crit, ASAP Rocky. So, you know, those are my influences as far as the guys out that I feel like that are still kind of holding the torch down for hip hop today. So I love the new
those to
and
me are the
old.
last rappers.
Yeah, man, they the last of the Mohicans for real.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
for sure.
agree. I agree.
Yeah, for sure, man. But listen, man, we definitely are in the same boat. We definitely are, us particularly us three, the host. We are into like the essence of hip hop. We like original rap. I mean, you know, we do tend to do our two step to the mumble shit, but we're definitely from the core of hip hop. We grew up on the same type of music that you were talking about, the same type of artist. And man, we're glad to have you on, man, because we feel like, you know, um just the mainstream portion of the hip hop industry, right, the business side of it, lost the essence. But let's get into
Definitely.
you as a producer real quick. OMZ Eternal, what, like, that sounds so crazy to me. Like, you're like forever gonna be around. That's what it sounds. Your sounds are gonna be here for infinity and beyond. So let's get into where that name came from. Like, where, like, how did, that's so amazing, that name to me.
Yeah, man. So the whole OMZ part. So originally it was OMZ Eternal. OMZ is short for Omar. A lot of
Okay.
my family and some friends call me OMZ, you know, just as a nickname. So it was originally OMZ, but a lot of artists I work with just started calling me OMZ. They thought it was OMZ. It's not an acronym for anything. It doesn't stand for anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just ran with it. You know what I mean?
So it's OMZ, not
Um,
OMZ then. So I was saying OMZ. So I did the same thing like the fans were doing. OMZ instead of
pretty
OM.
much, yeah. It sounds dope at the end of the day, so I just ran with it. The eternal part,
Yeah, pretty much.
the eternal part came from just, you know, realizing that I'm spirit and that the spirit never dies. You know, simple as that.
Yeah,
Mm.
and through your music, bro. I mean, you know, uh, there's like everlasting music that never goes out of style. You know, and your uniqueness in the way that you build your beats and of your format, it sounds like something that's gonna be around forever. Like, it's something that I know people are gonna rock with it forever. You know,
Making that timeless music, right? Just
timeless
that
music,
timeless
exactly.
music.
That's the goal, man.
Longevity.
Just make straight timeless classics, man. I feel like a lot of cats today just drop trendy shit that might be hot for a
Right.
minute.
Yeah.
People forget about it, you know, a few months down, and they want to catch the next wave or the next trend, you know.
Right.
So I just try to. I don't really care about what's going on as far as newer music, newer rappers and stuff. You know, I just try to. I don't want to sound like I'm selfish,
But
but
you focusing on you right now. Like, you focusing on your
yeah,
craft. That's
I
really
just
it.
try to make timeless hip hop at the end of the day, man. Like you said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
timeless, man.
You
That's
know,
where
you
it's
gotta
at.
look at one track, like Michael Jackson's "I Want to Be Started" something. 40 years later, that track still sets the party off.
Like, it just came out
You know?
yesterday. Definitely. It's timeless.
Exactly.
Yeah, like it just came
Shout
out
out to
yesterday. I was listening to that the other day too.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing
Mike.
that, I mean, me listening to your music, because I've been listening to your music for a while and stuff that you produced for a couple of artists that I know personally or just in the industry. I've noticed that your music is timeless, and then your name goes with that. You know, so it's a great structure you got going, man. I'm definitely proud that, you know, I have the pleasure of dealing with you, and I got to know you on a one-on-one level because everything makes sense to what you're doing. Timeless music and just your name in general kind of blends in together, and that's great, man. And a lot of producers don't have that, you know. So it's just a great value that you have there, brother.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, man, for real.
Yeah,
So
man.
what got you into producing though? Like, I mean, what actually made you want to say, you know what, I want to get into music production and start making beats?
Just being a fan of hip hop. Like I said, growing up off of the golden era music, and when I was in high school, I started to learn how to use FL Studio, And I remember I heard this song by Kendrick Lamar. It was called Michael Jordan. And so I was trying to imitate that beat on FL Studio. Like, damn, how do I get it right? And then I just got into FL Studio. That was a demo version at the time. Later on, I got the full version, and that was basically the beginning of me being a producer. I remember even reminiscing back in high school. Like, I was taking this class as a senior called Computer and Digital Animation, and it was cool. It was fun. I learned how to put these shapes together and create like different objects. And I ended up creating like a whole city, like an imitation like New York, Manhattan. And I had like the little projects on the side, people walking in the streets and cars.
You created like
it was cool, but at the same time, I realized that I wanted to be more into the music. So that's why I'm like, you know what? Let me go for the whole production thing and see where it takes me. And I got into FL Studio, then I got into Logic Pro.
Oh, that's dope.
Logic Pro X.
Yeah. So you basically created like your own little simulation of the city, basically, and then you decided, listen, I'm a creator, man. I'm gonna use this creativity to do music. And
yeah, man, I'm just always like listening to beats in my head and thinking about songs I like from years ago, like Nas, "The World Is Yours" from Illmatic, Jay-Z, The Evils, and I'm like, man, I just want to just create that. And sometimes I just have like random loops in my own mind that I feel like, man, I want to find a way to like manifest this, and create it like musically. Right. So that's really what got me going, man.
Yeah, and that's something that I was gonna ask you. That was gonna be my follow-up question. As a producer, as a music producer, you get these sounds in your head, like, what I'm saying, that you want to manifest them. I mean, obviously now that you're more experienced, it's definitely an easier transition for you to make that happen. But was it something that was real hard to do at the very beginning, to like manifest these like sound waves that you're getting in your head into actual digital format?
So I kind of started with sampling at first. Like, I would go and explore like different classic records from the 60s and 70s. And I would just dig up like just real rare, raw, like dirty and soulful samples. And I would chop it up, sequence it, rearrange it completely different than the loop that I would hear. And I would kind of put these little sound pieces together, like little puzzle pieces. Like, I would, for example, from a Michael Jackson song, Jackson 5, give me one more chance, right? One more chance. I might take a part from the beginning, from the middle of the sample, and from the end, and all put them together. And just create my own loop. You know what I mean? As far as sounds in my head, once I got more exposed into like VST plugins and stuff like that, which is basically just like electronic sounds in the program, then I manifested more of what I heard in my head. But at first, I didn't always like electronic sounds. I thought, electronic sounds are cool, but I like the natural sounds, just natural instruments like the guitar, the violin, the piano, the drums. The bass guitar too. I always gravitated more towards like jazz and natural instruments more. But nowadays people are more digital. You know what I mean? So I just found a way to make it happen through the digital sounds. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you play any instruments though? Like anything like in particular that's hands-on? Like, you talking about digital, but like, do you play like a guitar? Just any basic, music instrument?
I used to play the tenor sax back in the day in band class in like the 6th grade. But no, I do a lot of sampling, man. I sample a lot of instruments. But like, I would love to learn how to play some. I kind of mess around with
the piano. I see you
piano too.
Yeah, I see you do a lot of beats with your regular electric piano.
Yeah, sometimes I lay out. Sometimes I lay out chords and stuff too on that.
the promo video that we did for you for the podcast, I actually ripped that beat that you did on an Instagram video. I ripped it from there, and I used that as the promo sound to your promo video for today's podcast. I don't know if you know
man.
that. So I got a little bit of producing in me too, brother. I don't know if you noticed. You noticed that, right? You was like, that sounds familiar. Did you just like not notice?
I knew what type of word. Yeah.
Possibility.
I'm glad that y'all chose that sound because that's like when I was really in my zone that day, you know, and it's perfect for the interview.
That's dope. Because I was worried about it's hard to produce, man. It's hard. I mean, I definitely tried it a bit, but I think it's definitely you got to really be dedicated into like understanding sounds, understanding the snares. You know what I'm saying? The drums, how to really blend it in together, how to create the bridge, the chorus. Like it's a lot, man. I mean, honestly, it's a lot of work. But when you dedicate it, it's really in you. I mean, to me, I just think that it was just basically destined to do it. Because it takes skills, though. Producing takes a lot of skills.
It does.
It does, man. People don't understand the ins and out of it and how much time it actually takes. Sometimes I'm going through samples all freaking day. I might skip like 50 samples before 50 songs, like 50 songs from the 70s or 60s that I might pass through just to find one joint that I could mess with. So it's when it comes to like that form of producing, it is time consuming and requires like a lot of digging. But I still love it in the crates. So it's worth it. Yeah, man.
But listen, I mean that's one thing that I wanted to just go back a little bit to what you were saying about manifesting the sounds in your head, because a lot of like us real successful like music producers, like Timberland, one of his things is like he says that the way that he became a great producer was the sounds that he would hear in his head, he would duplicate them into digital form and then use natural instruments.
Okay.
Blend them together. And when you do that, you have a unique sound that nobody else has because nobody can really listen to what's going on in your brain, right?
Right.
But now going forward to what you were saying with how hard it is to produce a song, us as fans of music, well, not me particularly, because I've done music management. I know what goes into production and engineering, but the typical fan doesn't appreciate the producer or the engineer. They appreciate the artist, and they don't know that most of the time it's the producer and the engineer that makes the artist sound good through the beat that they create and also the way that they engineer the sounds to come out and manifest themselves through the speaker. So you guys are basically like the little engines that could behind the scenes, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And people don't appreciate that. People don't appreciate it because people are so consumed of the artist, because the artist is the one that are
I saw somewhere where
oh yeah, they definitely go hand in hand. The beat, the engineer, and the artist. They all go together like peanut butter and jelly. Like me, I mean, what am I saying? They all go together like peanut butter and jelly. But yeah, it's a lot as far as engineering and producing. And you're right, people don't really understand the whole what goes on behind the scenes. So
yeah, but I mean,
because we live like in a superficial society, in a superficial world where people just see like the front cover. They don't see what goes on behind.
Yeah, the work behind it.
A lot of these new artists are, they're not really that good. And producers like yourself and engineers are the ones that really make them sound good. Because if you go to a live performance sometimes, you're like, damn, this guy doesn't even sound like I thought he sounded. It was because the engineer and the producer made him sound like that on the song. And you see him in live and you're like, this dude has nothing like he sounds on tape, So a lot of people don't take that into consideration.
Exactly. Some artists sound like straight trash and they need the engineer to throw auto-tune on them, and they need the beat to really bring out them more. They don't sound the same on stage that they sound on the track, you know what I mean? So they need that digital tweaking to really really help them out.
And that's when you guys come in, the producers, and then the producers are really the ones that that make the sound good, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? And you guys are not given the credit that you guys deserve. That's my whole point and what I was trying to say. You guys should get more credit for bringing these sounds out, and not the artist as much as you do. You know, it should be like a 50-50 thing, you know?
Well, I
They were
mean,
Yeah,
looking. There's a
that's just how
video.
it is
Go ahead.
nowadays.
what's Chris?
No, I was just saying that's how it is nowadays, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris, you want to say something? Or you
Now I was
focus?
gonna say that there's a video on YouTube about Kanye West's producing, and they were just going through like his production and how amazingly like complex and like just crazy how he produces, and he uses a lot of vocals in his songs. Like most of his beats are done through the vocals. It's not like, you know, and they were saying that his like layers and like his ingenuity behind it was just like bar none one of the greatest things you'll ever see. And they really broke it down why he could be probably one of the top ever. And they were just like showing you like everything, like, and it was crazy.
Yeah, Kanye is a genius, man. I've been listening to him since College Dropout, man. He's dope.
Yeah. And you know that same thing that Chris Ryder was saying about how like Kanye West vocalizes his beats. That's basically what I was saying earlier with Timberland, that he was giving like this tutorial on how to make official and unique beats. Like if you have something in a sound in your head, and then you vocalize it like tan 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 tan, and then you try to duplicate that tan 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 tan, that's how you become a unique, exclusive producer. And I thought that shit was so great because I've always had that conception of like how Beethoven and these Mozarts and all these great producers of music, that's how they manifest their sounds. It comes through their head, they vocalize it, and then they express it to us through sound.
Word. I definitely want to work with live musicians and, you know, things that I have in my mind, try to work with them and have them play it out and, you know, get into sampling and chopping legally with these guys, and I have to worry about like sample clearances and stuff like that for the future.
Right,
And
that's the thing, too. Yeah.
But yeah, you know, I'd be having ideas in my head too. I would just like to find the right team of musicians that I could work with that like the same type of music as me, and I have the same vision, and you know, we could just easily work together.
Got you. Any particular artist though, like in general, that you feel like I want to work with this artist? I think I got the right sound for this particular artist.
A lot, man. Benny the Butcher, Rome Streets, Shane Noor. Okay, I lied, not a lot. Just a few. Kendrick, Pusha T.
Pusha T, yo, you man,
very kill it.
Yeah,
very
man.
underrated, man.
Black Thought, Nas.
Ooh.
The list could go on, man.
Yeah, and I could definitely sense that because your type of style of your sound, I could definitely see how that actually worked together with those artists that you just named right now. That's dope, man.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, man. It's just a matter of time, man, before I really get out there and, you know, people are gonna really want to start to work. You know, once I really build a solid buzz off this foundation.
Yes.
Yeah. And I mean, you have a few current projects that you're working on that I've been able to witness myself. Let's talk about that so that our listeners can get in tune with what you're currently working on. I know you have an artist called Passport, correct? That he's doing this thing right now. He just dropped the EP, correct? Or you guys ended up dropping the EP like on that date that you guys were talking about, or just elaborate on the whole what you're working on and what Passport is about and how you integrated that situation.
Yeah, for sure. Passport Rap, that's my homie. I met him at a beat battle in South Bronx a couple years back, and I thought he was the illest producer in the whole beat battle, and he killed it. So that's what really got my attention to wanting to work with him. And then I discovered he's an artist. So, you know, we ended up working and experimenting with a few tracks. Our first track we released was a song called Departures. This was a couple years ago. And, you know, we really loved that song. So we decided to eventually make a tape. And Passport Rap, he's like really political. He exposes a lot of like white supremacy and Black Lives Matter, Black inferiority. So he really gets deep into it. So he has a message, he has a really powerful voice, and he has a lot to really speak about. And I feel like he shares a lot of the same core values and beliefs as me. He's really spiritual too. I feel like he's on the spiritual journey. And, we just decided to work, and we created this project called Dual Citizenship. I did 4 out of 6 tracks. He did one, and one of his other producers did another. But I feel like that's where we were in life as far as the whole pandemic and things we wanted to share and just express, like it all just manifested just at the right time. So that was cool that I could work with an artist like him. He's real dope. Shout out to Passport Rap.
Yeah, no, and I've heard a few of his joints, and I definitely like where he's coming from. It's very informative. It's all about dropping knowledge.
Absolutely.
Like, how hip hop, is. But you also got your secret weapon, Young Noah, which I've been watching too. So
oh yeah, for sure.
that kid, he got a lot of potential, man. So
he's nasty, man. He's one of the illest out there, and I feel like he can really pop off in the DMV if he plays his cards right and just keep working and grinding. That's my boy. That's my homie, and like I say, he has a lot of infinite potential with this music thing. And I'm just trying to, just coach him and get him to be ready to be pushed out in this industry. We trying to make moves together, but stay in tune, man. He's gonna be on my next tape that I drop. Shout out to Young Noah, man. He's my secret weapon for sure. push that red button and the world will self-detonate.
Let's go, man. When you're ready to send out them nukes, man. Press
man.
You ready to send out those musical nukes?
We got the whole army, man. We got the Mussolini. Shout out to Mussolini, Passport Rap, Young Noah. Shout out to S Chess, my boy Young D. Izzy Hot, Prophet. We got the whole freaking army, man.
That's what's up.
So we got our ammunition ready. We ready to just keep hitting the world with new music.
Yeah, and one of my favorite Mussolini tracks that you produced, Solid White. That's one of my favorite ones right there. I like that one. That was you.
White, yeah.
Solid White, right? You produced that one? Solid White?
It's Sold White. Like
Sold White. I thought it was Solid White. I'm sorry. Sold White. Sorry. Sold White.
No doubt, bro. That was the first track that we did together. At the time, I was living in VA in Arlington, Virginia, right outside DC. And Moose discovered me on Instagram and liked a few of my videos. Then I hit him up. Then I hit him up again when I came to the Bronx. And he let me come through to his crib. I sent him some beats. And then Soul White was the one he was really messing with the most. And that's the one he wanted to push a video for and put on his project. So I really appreciate, him taking me under his wing and, getting me some more exposure in this industry and, just aligning me with a bunch of dope ass artists.
Dope. Yeah, for sure. Man. But we're definitely going to get into our main topic, a spiritual journey, which you have a personal insight in that, not only because you do music, but because you've been trying to find yourself with the elements. We're going to get into that, how, it's very important for people to get in tune with their spiritual side in order to manifest their dreams and things that they want to accomplish in life. You have to know yourself better than anybody else knows yourself, right? You have to love yourself before you can love anything else. So we're going to get into that. So I know that recently you was on a little spiritual journey yourself. Let's elaborate on that. How was that experience for you?
Man, so what really caught my attention in this whole journey was like wanting to open my third eye.
The hindsight.
Back when I was like a senior in high school, I just always thought it was fascinating. And, I would go online and like see pictures of the third eye, AKA the pineal gland, and see all like these different states that people would be in and these euphoric, like psychedelic colors. And I always wanted that type of experience. You know what I mean? But But I realized that the spiritual journey is not an easy journey, and it's a lot of shit that comes with it, you know, just like waking up to the truth of who you are and seeing the darkness and the light and just like merging them into one. You know what I'm saying? Everything ain't pretty in this world. And I feel like the more you wake up, the more you wake up, like the more you see like shit ain't really that sweet. And I think that's a mistake I made initially, like wanting to jump into the journey, the spiritual journey. Like, oh, I want to open my third eye and see colors and float, shit like that. Like, you know what I mean? But it's a lot more sacrifice and dedication and, you know, being a good person and just having a clean heart and, you know, treating people with respect. I think those are like the core spiritual values that anybody should follow. Love, compassion, you know what I mean? So I think that's what it's all about.
Do you meditate? Do you often meditate? I mean, how does that work for you? Have you tried it, or do you do it on a daily basis, or what's your?
I meditate a lot, man. I try to do it on a daily basis. It's not always easy though, because the mind be racing a lot. And me, with my mind, like it just wants to jump everywhere. The monkey mind wants to just jump from thought to thought. And sometimes it can be really distracting. So I try to meditate. It's not always easy. It's often a challenge. But at times I find myself really getting into it and actually healing, like on a physical, spiritual level type shit. And I realized that meditation is like real life medicine. I try to eat healthy, eat real clean, exercise a lot, and just be aware of what I put in my body and not, you know, continue to put poisons in my body. And, you know, just become a lot lighter and let go of like stress and tension and heaviness. And meditation can be really helpful once I really like start to heal and let go of like the mind as it's racing and just calm myself down and get more tuned in.
Yeah. And you know what, as you say, he went off?
Your video went off.
He's back on.
No,
so, as you say that though, I'm just kind of thinking about my personal experience because I mean, going through the whole spiritual journey, but you know, I definitely was able to really meditate and really, you know, start to meditate more often. And it definitely gave me a lot of self-awareness just about everything that I mean, I just wasn't really conscious enough to really understand it at that time. So meditation definitely raised my level of consciousness of looking the way we live from a different lens. I mean, to put it that way. Far as you though, with ego, I know I had a big battle with my ego because I mean, at one time I was a very egoistic person. I had a very strong ego, and definitely finding my spirituality has developed me to catch that and just, you know, remove myself from that. Right. I mean, have you ever like encountered that within yourself?
Oh, the ego's a bad boy, man. Ego's a sneaky motherfucker.
word.
You sneaky motherfucker.
I feel like, man,
know about that.
New level, new devils, man.
Yeah.
And, I feel like I have a strong ego at times too. You know, I think I'm always right and nobody could tell me anything.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I got it all figured out, but that's all an illusion. You know,
yes, sir.
Absolutely. And embarking in the spiritual journey. And so embarking in this whole spiritual journey, you got to realize like the ego will set you back if you let it. And the goal basically is to make your ego surrender to your spirit. You know what I mean? It's not always an easy thing, especially like when we've been conditioned into believing that we are the ego all of our life, that society has told us to believe that we're this identity, this person, you know, that we're basically not. And that's the biggest lie that we were taught. You know, we're our ego, we're our personality. You know, I'm Omar. I come from a small town called Manassas Park, Virginia. This is my family. These are my friends. This is me. But that's all temporary. You know what I'm saying? And so the eternal path is realizing that I'm God, basically. You know, I'm the Most High is within. And ego can get in the way and be a sneaky mofo if you let him.
Ego's a tricky thing because ego in one sense of the form, when you're very selfish and just think about yourself and you don't care about what is around you, you think that the world revolves around you, right? That could be dangerous, but at the same time, it kind of conflicts because sometimes you do have to be selfish when you're trying to find yourself and trying to make things right for yourself. You have to be egotistical with yourself and not allow like bad entities to come into your circle to ruin what you're trying to accomplish. So ego can be a motherfucker, like you said, because it can either work for you for the good or for the bad. But I think in general, it's more of a bad thing. But if you use it correctly, you'll learn to appreciate yourself, get rid of it, and then appreciate others and the world around you and work as one instead of you totally isolated by yourself, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely. I mean, you do have to be selfish at times in the sense of like just doing what's best for you and not trying to be a people pleaser.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At times I feel like I don't always want to be in a group. You know what I mean? Sometimes I just want to fall back and be isolated and be alone. Everybody may not understand that, but it's like when you're really
We lost you there, buddy. There you go.
hello.
Yeah,
Sorry,
you're back.
20%. I just got the 20% notification.
I think that was your ego right there, buddy. Yo, fuck yeah, niggas. I'll turn that shit off.
Nah, man, it's all love. But yeah, so sometimes you do got to be selfish in the sense like you just got to be alone, you know, and sometimes friends and family may not always understand, but I don't know. I just find peace like just being in nature, just being with the elements, just being with the trees.
There you go.
And it's healing, man.
It is, man. It is because we have to understand that the universe works in conjunction with everybody's energy at the same time. So if your energy is not in the frequency of the positive, you're gonna end up in the frequencies of the negative, and that's something you don't want to dig into because it's a law. It's a rabbit hole, man. You might never come out of. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
yeah, and that's one thing that I suggest. I mean, I'm not perfect. I mean, I'm still dealing with stuff that I have to deal with too, but for the most part, I'm trying to practice like positivity to the fullest extent, and meditating and trying to find out who I am to be a better person to the rest of the world. That's what I'm working on right now, and I think a lot of people, especially during this pandemic and during this health crisis, have lost thought of that, or if either it's drove them crazy and they don't know what the hell to do because they found out how much of a fuck boy they are or whatever. but I think that some people have found themselves because it's given them more time to dedicate to themselves, right? I think some people have found themselves and some people haven't. But what disadvantages have you seen during this whole pandemic that people have not looked into that might not help them succeed in that area?
I'm sorry, what was your very last question? I missed it.
So what I'm saying is that particularly now that we're, most of the world is on a it's frozen right now, right? People are not working, people are not out and about as much because they have to be home. What advantages and disadvantages do you think has affected people in their spiritual journey, for instance?
I mean, in a way, I feel like this whole coronavirus pandemic it's unfortunate that people are dying and this virus is real, this outbreak is real. Like we have to social distance and try to stay away from each other as much as possible and protect one another. At the same time, I feel like it's a blessing in disguise because it really gives people a chance to like figure out who the hell they are and connect more into their truth and connect more into God and the higher power. So, that's my thoughts as far as this whole thing. I think, everything happens for a reason, whether we realize it or not. And the goal of everything is to evolve, man, no matter how long it takes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's one of the main points that this health crisis has brought to us as humans, humanity, that perhaps this was a universal plan by the source, the source, the power of beings in the universe to kind of like give us a reality check and be like, hey, listen, you guys have been fucking up. You guys are not in harmony. You guys are just being assholes down there. So let's get you guys infected, sick, so y'all could spend more time at home and realize that you guys have to live in harmony and respect oneself to respect others. You know what I mean? And find yourself in the universe. Stop being fucking. There's a lot of fucked up shit.
Selfish pieces of shit.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely, man.
That's what it is about. That's you think about just how selfish, particularly in America, just how selfish people are. How much, even food that we throw away. There's fucking bananas because it doesn't look a perfect way. It's no good. Throw it away in the garbage. But it's perfect.
The banana has a freckle. I don't like it.
Shit, go to the Bronx.
Yeah, or or you.
Oh, he's frozen.
Oh yeah, but you had that lady that her husband that went out for the first dinner in quarantine, and she was complaining because she didn't get cheese or whatever specifically.
That was definitely a Karen.
I work
Those are very
in an environment where it's just selfishness all over. Selfishness is ridiculous, especially like in this pandemic.
Thank Chris Ryder having very hard time.
Crazy and it's just ridiculous. So I think trying to find that balance, it's probably the hardest thing for anybody. And unless you are willing to, like you two guys have done, is, and I guess no too, and I had probably a similar awakening too, is figuring out what's wrong with you, and choosing to correct it and become a better person. I know that's some of the hardest things a person can do. And
it is, because nobody wants to see their own dirt at the end of the day.
No.
Yeah.
So I think I agree with everything y'all are saying. Like, this is the time to really like come back into who we are and not be selfish. Like you said, people throw away food all the time. And everybody's in this rat race. Especially I see it here in New York. Like, everybody's in this rat race. Everybody got their own lane. Like, everybody's too busy for each other. Nobody has time to really socialize, come together. I shouldn't say everybody, but
right.
A lot of people. And so yeah, man. Like now is the time to realize all this and just be better as human beings, and just step up to the plate spiritually on a higher level. That's what I feel.
I agree. I just think this is basically people are so caught up of making a living that they forget to live a life, though, because we caught up with this pandemic. Though it slows it up now, where now we're required to be at home for those that are not essential workers, and now it's a moment where you can actually really assess life and start reflecting about things that you usually don't have the time to really think about, because again, we all really caught up of just trying to just earn a living and just trying to make it day by day, because I actually did a episode about that, about my life as far as like living in during quarantine. I definitely get it, because it definitely built up my spirituality of going through this whole quarantine where I had more time to myself, more time to my family, and it made me really more assess life. So that's definitely where I was able to benefit from that.
It's a blessing in disguise, man.
Guys, look at Chris Ryder. He's like a demon right now. He's frozen. Oh man, shit, man.
Oh, that's gonna be a meme,
bro.
right?
They got
him.
him.
Be a meme. We're gonna meme him right now. We're gonna meme Chris Ryder.
They got him, man. God forbid.
He's back. He's back.
Oh no, he froze again.
No, he looks even worse.
Oh man,
Jesus Christ, man. What's going on here, man? The universe. I think he had like a reptilian fucking alien turn into him. It wasn't really him talking earlier.
Oh man.
I don't know, man. My internet
is the butcher back, or is this the butcher? This is the reptilian.
My Wi-Fi is like acting up. I don't know what's going on.
But yeah, man. But
they watching us.
Glad to have you back on, though, man.
Like, they don't want the spiritual awakening. They don't want to know about themselves.
Oh man.
I was kind of scared there for a minute. I thought I was. I was about to call an exorcist or something. Take you out down.
Exorcist? Hell?
With the power of Christ compel you. But yes,
yeah.
Back to what we were talking about, a spiritual journey. Like, I definitely Love the key points that Almost Eternal and JT were speaking of, and you too, Chris Ryder. I think this has been a great time in human history to actually sit down, shut the fuck up, and look at yourself and be like, you know what? I'm not that perfect. I need to fix myself so that I can be part of the bigger picture, a better world, not a perfect world, because the world is not perfect. Because everything, there's a balance and everything. There's good and evil, negative and positive, right? This is how the world works, right? But at least the vast majority of us can start looking at life a little bit or cherishing life a little bit more. I think the world will be a little bit better. I think this had to happen for, it's happening for a reason, and it had to happen because humanity was going the wrong way, man. And next thing you know, I don't know, we might have some alien invasion, and they might congratulate us, telling us how much of a good job we did.
Imagine. And that wouldn't surprise me though. That would not surprise me, man.
The New York Times released a document the other day.
Well, there's so many things that's so like suppressed from us that I can only imagine like the real side of it though. There's so much information that's being suppressed from us. Like that's nip.
But, it just shows you. It just shows you that humanity is not on top of the food chain or the top of the world or the best. That it is, because this pandemic has hit everybody. Don't care if you rich, don't care if you poor, don't care if you white, don't care if you black, don't care if you whatever. It's gonna hit you, and it humbled a lot of people, and let them know that you ain't invisible, or you ain't invincible as you say you are. So
for sure,
tell people a lot of that.
Right,
man. I met this guy last night, man, and he got locked out of his crib, and he needed his phone was in the crib too. He needed to use my phone to get in contact with the locksmith. And so I called the locksmith for him, and they took a long ass time to come. They took like an hour and some change. But before they came, I was sitting on the stoop and just waiting with him for like an hour. And he was telling me that he lost his daughter, and she was pregnant, and his wife to the coronavirus. And I was like, man, this ain't no joke. People really dying from this. But like I said, it has pros and cons. It's a blessing in disguise, and it's definitely an opportunity for us to take time to just connect with the source energy.
Absolutely.
And get in tune with who we truly are, our true essence.
And it's killed a lot of people that weren't supposed to die. It's like people have like pathways, and it's like, okay, that's expected, but it's killed a lot of people that it shouldn't have.
It's sad.
I think that's the biggest thing.
I pray it don't pass me by next, or anyone else I come in contact with.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, you know what? Honestly, we always said, you always got to take precaution regardless of what it is. You know what I'm saying? Not to say it, because honestly, it's a real thing. You know what I mean? It's very unfortunate. But just always, just be knowledgeable, and just, like understand that you always got to take precautions though, because even with me, I'm not really for the whole mask. I'll be straight up right now. Like I really am not really for it. Like I don't really walk outside. Like I could just tell you how many times I forget. I got to go back upstairs and get the mask, because I'm not even with condition still.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But again though, you always got to take precaution regardless of whatever you think it is, if it's conspiracies, if it's real or whatever. Always take precautions, because you never know.
Wear your mask, young man. How dare you?
Hey man, I got mine in my pocket right now.
Dude, look, I can, that shit. When you said that, John Tavor, where the hell? Oh, I got mine right here. Yo, John, what's yours at, man? Come on, bro.
Everybody throw their mask.
Head to the store. Oh, you guys are ready. You guys are prepared, man.
I'm from the hood, man. I'm always ready for war, baby.
Oh man, I got my mask.
I'm ready. And I'm ready.
I have this. Yo, that's it.
Got the Mets. Oh shoot! You got the man. You are hardcore. Oh, okay.
But listen, you always gotta relax.
So real quick,
with the tongue sticking out.
Yeah.
Yo, that's fire.
We got the Batman too.
The Cape Crusader.
You know what's crazy? I ordered these masks in March.
He's the meat crusader, because he's a butcher by trade.
Oh, man.
I ordered these masks in March and April, and they came like 2 weeks ago. I didn't even expect it, and they just came.
He
But
takes
the
out.
funny part about it? There's
Yeah.
people that have been rocking the mask before the pandemic. Like I think there's this artist named Schmatillo. I think his name is Schmatillo, if I'm not mistaken. He's from Atlanta,
Okay.
and he always like, I think he did the dab dance. Like he really got people pop. He really exposed like the whole
Wow.
dab, and he just did a
Yeah.
lot of dances to a lot of different songs. And he always, I remember seeing him have like a mask, like with a smiley face and like the cat nose with the little whiskers
Man.
coming out.
Yeah. I heard.
And this was like 2-3 years ago.
I heard.
Wow.
I heard he was a germaphobe.
Oh, is that what it was?
That's what I heard. Yeah, but you never know. Sometimes people get downloads of information and they manifest it and they don't even know what the fuck they're doing, and then it becomes like a popular trend because it was
Exactly.
meant to be. You know what I mean? So I think
Yeah.
he was like giving us like a prediction without him knowing that he was giving us a prediction
Well,
about what the future events were gonna uphold. But all I wanted to do is say, Chris Ryder, I am your father. That's fine.
but Bad Bunny actually did a few videos like 2 years before this with
Yeah.
the face mask. I know he's very,
Right.
animated, but it was just like, wow, like this dude was wearing a
Even-
mask, and what I'm saying, look at now the way we are right now, wearing all masks.
Look
you know
at
what
the
I'm saying?
Asians.
Enough
Look
with
at the
this
Asians.
mask.
They used to walk around with the mask when they were sick. Like I used to walk in the street and see them with masks. Like, why are they wearing masks for?
Yeah.
And then you look into it, and it's because when they're
How we
sick,
all
it's
wear
their
masks.
custom to cover their faces.
Yeah. But like, listen,
It's a pollution though.
it's funny that earlier when we first started talking about the spiritual journey, Eternal was speaking about his own personal spiritual journey, how he was trying to find that third eye. And Ali John Tavar mentioned Bad Bunny. There's a new documentary, like a real like 15-minute documentary. YouTube Music started with him. They're starting to do this with like artists who are big like him. And he was saying that he tuned into that a long time ago, and that he knows how to manifest his dreams and his daydreaming thoughts into real life. He's learned how to do that, and he said that's part of his success. So, I mean,
Sound like he learned the ways of the secret, the law of attraction and
the
manifesting.
law, yeah,
There you go. I'm about to say it right now. You took the words out of my mouth, man.
and
That's the law of attraction, man.
That's
I know
right.
I know you spent a couple of days. Was it like a resort or like a camp that you went to try to do that? I seen that you was like in a remote area, like under some waterfalls, and TLC was in the background. I don't know.
There's a TLC in the background.
Yeah. So first and foremost, fellas, I just want to mention I'm on like 7%. My battery's kind of low right now, but I can definitely answer that question. Yeah. So I got kind of tired of the city, man. Like with everything going on, the whole pandemic and the whole cops killing, like innocent black people and all kind of fucked up shit, and the looting and the rioting and people just shooting fireworks every day. I felt like, it's just too much going on right now. So I took a break, went to Virginia, and seen some of my family despite the whole thing going on. And so I went to Shenandoah. Hold on, give me 1 second. I went to Shenandoah, Virginia with my aunt, and we just went to like this resort, and we seen the waterfalls. They had some beautiful waterfalls over there, and that was actually my first time being in any waterfall, and it was dope, man. I felt like it was a healing experience. Like I felt like it was like a bath, being like being baptized, in a sense where I'm just being purified by the elements.
Gotcha.
I'm not saying, I'm magically healed within seconds, but I definitely felt like it was a purging for my soul, and I needed that experience.
Gotcha. That's
so
dope.
I was up there by the mountains, not too far from West Virginia.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Y'all should check it out if you get the chance. I also want to go to the Poconos up in New York and check it out up there.
Yeah,
Nice
no,
out there.
that's one of
Makes it.
they always said that when you're looking for spiritual healing, it's good to like get in touch with nature and get away from like electronics and all that, and just be out there in the woods or in the forest, wherever it is, and just like get in touch with like the natural elements like water, fire, stuff like that. That helps cleanse your soul, supposedly. I'm not too sure. I never been through it, but I would definitely love to experience it. I'm glad that you had a chance to kind of experience and experience that part. of cleansing through natural elements, which that's great for your spiritual journey in that sense.
Right,
Or,
right.
yeah, y'all got to do it if y'all get a chance, man. Sometimes we get caught up in this matrix and this rat race, all this technology and these frequencies and these waves that be bouncing all in the air that we're not, fully like aware of because it's
Right.
invisible. But it really puts a toll on your body and your mind, whether people realize it or not. So me being so sensitive to all these things, I feel like, damn, I just need to just take a break and
Yeah,
just get back into nature, into the true elements, basically.
Yeah, man.
absolutely. And one thing I want to point out though, like when I started really getting like spiritually awakened, what I learned, what I'm saying, that spirituality is the recognition of the spiritual force of the universe. It's a
Word.
recognition of your relationship to all living things and your
Definitely.
responsibility towards those living things. That's why when I go to nature, it really awakens me more because it just awakens my spirituality. Because we're all connected. We're all here together. We're all one organism living on this planet that we call Earth. Right?
Definitely, we all
Yeah,
one, man. That
and
once you
that's
realize that, then I feel like you tap in.
you
You
know,
tap
and
into the higher source,
yeah,
Absolutely.
and
and you
that's why
start
they
to
say
love
that.
animals and love people more, and just love God.
Yeah, and that's why, like, like those shagadelic experiences where people go under, they actually experience themselves talking to trees and to like grass and shit, because it kind of opens your third eye to see that you're part of the same environment that you're living in. You're not just like a separate entity, you're part of it, right? Like JT was saying. But listen,
Absolutely.
man, I know OMZ Eternal, his battery's dying, so we're just gonna end it with a final thought and with one of your last tracks that you send us so that people could get exposed to your music. But real quick, just drop your social media and contact information so those people looking to work with you in music, or just get in, have a little spiritual situation with you, um, they can find you. And then we're gonna go into a final thought about our spiritual journey here and our topic today. Okay.
Word.
So where
All
can they
right. So
find you at?
So yeah, y'all can find me basically on Instagram, OMZ Eternal. Um, you can find me a lot, man, through all platforms. If you go and type in Mussolini, like we have a couple projects out together. MSG, I did most of the album. I did like 7 tracks, so you can really discover a lot of my production on there. Passport Rap, shout out to Passport. We got our album on all platforms, dual citizenship, and I got some new stuff coming out, man. I don't really mess with too much other social media. I'm on Facebook, but I'm not really like too active on there. I have a Twitter, but it's kind of inactive. I haven't really been on it in a long time, in years. So mainly just Instagram. If you really want to get in contact with me and work and talk about, doing business together, IG is where you can find me.
okay.
So just feel free to inbox me.
All
So you
right.
have it, man. OMZ Eternal. That's OMZ
I don't know, man. Dope name.
ERNAL, and we can find them there. So our final thought. Usually we just reflect on the whole conversation that we had and just give a little message before we leave. So we're gonna let you start off since your phone is dying there. We don't want you to miss out
Hey,
on
die
the.
on us.
Yeah, we don't want you to die on us there, buddy. Come on, wake up.
Okay. I'm alive. So just my final thoughts on anything, right?
On the
Well,
spiritual
I mean,
journey and
yeah,
about our topic of the day, buddy.
we spoke about. I mean, what's your final thought? I mean, if you could just sum it up in one
My
sentence or
final thought
two.
is that everything happens for a reason, man. Even us just having this interview, like I feel like I can rub off on y'all energy, and you guys are like, really good people.
Same here.
So it just so happens that we're talking a lot about spirituality, and we're all in this together, going
Absolutely.
going through this transition in life of letting go of the ego of the old way and stepping into the truth of
Yeah.
who we are, really. So that's kind of just the main thing I want to send out, and I let that manifest through. I try to let it manifest through all my music, you know.
Dope. Dope,
So
man.
All
that's
right.
that, man. I'm glad that we could do this interview
Appreciate
and
you,
y'all
man.
could give me this opportunity No doubt.
Yeah,
appreciate
Sure,
y'all too.
man. And
man.
I'm glad you came to dinner at the round table, because the real dinner is a food for thought that we give to people, not a piece of plate,
Word.
little shrimps and broccoli. But
Although I wouldn't mind
Exactly.
which
having
we do sometimes.
broccoli.
We do give food out on our studios most of the time, you know.
Yeah,
If the
yeah.
budget
Yo,
is-
y'all should do that, man. Like, you know how you have Capone, the drinking champ? No, not Capone, Noriega,
Yeah.
drinking champ,
Have the
and they like
alcohol
drink
bottle.
together. Y'all, yeah, like once this whole pandemic thing calms down and
Yeah.
they come out with the vaccination
no,
or
for sure.
whatever, then y'all should really like do food at the table. That'd
Nah,
be
for
dope.
sure. No, yeah, we definitely do. We definitely do. We've just been remotely doing the podcast, and
Right.
as a matter of fact, next week I'm gonna share a dish that I made, man, a special dish, and I'm gonna send it through. I'm gonna overnight it to you guys, man. Fuck that.
Night.
You know what I'm saying?
What's up with that peach cobbler pie,
Overnight.
man? I want some peach cobbler, man.
Oh,
But yeah, man, Chris Ryder, man, you want to start off with your final thought?
I mean, the most important thing is just try to find balance, man. Try to find your balance. Be a good person. And try to be considerate of others. Just try to be the best you can be. And I mean, just finding out more about you, accepting your flaws, what's wrong with you, and then that's the only way you can work towards a better understanding with people, with relationships. When you're authentic and your energy is real, people tend to, respect you more because you're true to yourself. And the way that happens is if you get that spiritual awakening. Other people starts earlier. For me, it was a little bit later. It took two great friends of mine to, make me accept me for who I am. And because I used to always think, why is everybody always picking on me? Why is this and why is that? Because I was uber sensitive and I always felt like kind of an outsider. And then it took them really opening my eyes to really think that you're not, just be who you are and don't be afraid of it. And ever since that day, everything's changed. I've been, more accepting, more acknowledging of what's wrong, what makes me tick and other stuff. And when somebody comes out of my head, trying to get at my knives,
the knives.
always having it, trying to get at my knives in my profession. I'm not taking it so personally anymore.
Yo, John Tavares, that's another threat, bro. He's threatening me
I know,
again.
right? I'm like, listen, I'm not doing that again. That's like threat number one.
Yeah, he threw like a soft women's punch today.
Oh,
It's
okay,
butcher,
little baby tap right there.
pow.
Yeah, man. Listen,
He hit as hard as my son did today.
Listen, in front of a grand jury, if I had to present evidence, there's so many episodes. where
So
you
and
killing me.
my
You're going to jail
my
forever.
jab back was the same, like poo, 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 poo.
Man,
Oh man.
Nah, that's just my final thought. It's just the hardest part in life is to catch the balance. It's something that people take years to achieve, and it's
Not easy. It's not easy at all.
yeah,
But so
yeah. And
you have
honestly,
to
I want to follow up with that. Yeah, go ahead.
that energy too. It's just that's the hardest part, and just everybody should dedicate their lives to finding that balance.
Yeah.
So that's it.
I keep on thinking he's gonna finish because he freezes. I'm like, did he finish or not? That's all. Like, John Tavares, go ahead.
He goes a little bit.
Oh man, my Wi-Fi today is like weird. It's been acting up. I don't know.
Yeah,
what's going
man.
on.
You got to take the pork chop off the router there. You have the pork chop.
Oh my God. Oh man. So listen, I'm gonna go with one final thought.
We'll throw you on there.
You know what? That's 104 right there. Let me document that.
Oh man,
yeah,
guys,
huge,
100
Nelson,
episodes
all right.
coming up soon, so we're gonna celebrate hard time.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So I would just say my final thought would be basically, I think it all really stems from your comfort zone. Really removing yourself from your comfort zone. I mean, it's a very comfortable place to be at, right? Comfort zone. However, though, nothing grows from there. And I think that's the main obstacles that many people go through, that they just so comfortable in their zone that they don't want to, grow. And I think that's the biggest, like it's just hard to go over that hump for many people because they're just so conditioned already to just have a certain mentality, to look at things a certain way already. And anything that goes, like that challenges that, mentality, they so they are quick on defense, and I think that would definitely limits people of not really growing. And I mean, I ended up by saying, if you don't sacrifice for what you want to become, that's going to actually become your sacrifice later on. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm gonna end it off like that, man. Remove yourself from your comfort zone.
Yeah, that was a great one. I mean, I don't even know what to say after all. You guys have great points. I'm just gonna say is find yourself, know yourself, love yourself, so you can love the world back. That's all. That's my final thought, man. Then at the Round Table Podcast, join us next week.
2 seconds, final thought.
Yeah, man. Come on, man. It's all about getting straight to the point, brother.
But made me think about that record. We off the world right now.
Yeah, we're gonna finish it off with the OMZ Turner record.
Yes, sir.
Then at the Round Table Podcast, subscribe to our channel. There's a little logo in the right-hand corner of this video. You could just press it. It's a Dinner at the Round Table logo, like the one that me and Chris Ryder and John Tovar have in the background. You press that, subscribe, and we'll be back here next Monday at 7:30 Eastern, like always. Right, guys?
Let's go, baby.
Yeah, man. So
signing off, man. Dinner at the Round Table Podcast. Your source
from New York, baby.
Knowledge.
Yes. We out of here.
And some whiskey glazed ribs, a nigga gotta eat. This feast will last a week, ballin' like an athlete. Hey yo, Omar, OMC. This beat right here is historic right here. So soulful, don't you agree? And I am Young Noah. Let go. Dear Lord, I've been begging for forgiveness. What I do in the street is not me, it's just business. I know that it's a tragedy, I gotta feed my family. But karma is a bitch and pretty soon she'll get back to me. And I'll be ignoring the calls. FaceTime that bitch, she like so many weird feelings, I don't know what normal is. Mashed potatoes, coleslaw, and some whiskey glazed ribs. A nigga gotta eat. This feast will last a week, ballin' like an athlete. Your whole style is obsolete, you new niggas outdated. Mumble rap is overrated, let my brothers out the cages. Shit is getting outrageous, a victim to the system. Now watch the plot thicken, my bitch is getting thicker. My plans is getting bigger, I be riding with that heat. I'm a fucking cold killer, raised in the hood, crackheads and dope dealers. Bad cocoa bitch, but my side piece vanilla. Cash money like baby, you a fucking babysitter. My life is a movie, the genre is thriller. I need my money on time, or I'ma bill ya. Niggas moving weight like a fucking bodybuilder. Mike Jack with the moves, Billie Jean, nah Thriller. I got no limits, you can call me Percy Miller. I'm pacing, take a shot, you can call me Reggie Miller. What's it when I'm iller? I came from the villa, rocks like I'm Jigger. I'm a rock star figure, trying to make 6 figures. Dollars on strippers, I never lost a bet, man, I promise y'all winners. I seen a fat bitch and started fucking, now she dinner. Looking like a snack, now baby, that's my dinner. I'm coolin' like the winner, I run it like a sprinter. Niggas got the spotlight, see me, goddamn em. A menace to society, success is in my ivy. Ballin' in that league, but that league was an ivy. These niggas all snakes surrounded by some poison ivy. Remove the filters, nigga, maybe you see what I see, no.